Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, September 15th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. Running away from problems only increases the distance from the solution. In the vast pool of consciousness inside us and surrounding us, there are three types of thoughts we can choose from: the positive, the negative, or the neutral. The neutral thoughts may still have subtle positive or negative slants to them, yet are just less fiercely opinionated. The negative thoughts are the clinging type, where the body holds physical tension and the breath is shorter and controlled. The mind is grasping on in fear, thinking that our ideas, life circumstances, and belief systems must be a certain particular way, and not any other way if we are to survive. Positive thoughts, however, feel more liberating, mind expansive, abundant, and sensation of gentleness, confidence, peace, and warmth around the heart. So the reason I'm explaining the obvious is because we don't often realize what type of thinking we are dwelling in, and the moment we become aware, it gives us a chance to or at becoming truly free. It's essential that we explore life outside our normal box of believing if we are ever to evolve. One of the most interesting aspects you may find about the path to enlightenment is that it can be found within both realms of positive and negative thinking. Enlightenment is always more effortless than what we've been told. It's a natural byproduct and effect from living in a state of perpetual equanimity and neutrality with the mind. Therefore, we must choose to remove any spiritual enlightenment mask. There are a lot of people out there that have these spiritual enlightenment masks, and we need to remove those if we are ever to truly arrive. The mask I'm referring to is the one that believes the super pure, holy, sacred beings are those who only have positive, loving thoughts coursing through their brains all day long. If positive thinking all day long was a necessity to become enlightened, it would be pretty hopeless for a majority of humanity to ever find real, true inner freedom. When it comes to enlightenment, positive thinking can help you arrive at freedom just as much as negative thinking. Both sides of the coin are needed for us to find the edge, where the mind is dropped and real freedom abides. So we may decide to use the positive front door, or perhaps sneak in through the negative basement window. Both doors to freedom go to the same place, allowing us to step into our enlightened home. When we arrive in the burning hearth and fire of awareness, we simply want to rest and relax into that cozy, healing nest. The blissful feeling of freedom naturally arises from sitting in front of that fire of awareness. We can then see the negative and positive thoughts come and go. Yet the fire of pure awareness remains the same. It's as if we once believed we were puffy clouds who spent too much time floating through the mountain peaks and valleys, forgetting that our real home is the vast, endless sky. Our thoughts are the various cloud formations and consistency of the cloud, while the enlightened state, our real nature, is the infinite sky. In pure awareness, we see that we already are the free sky that has no limits or real boundaries. We understand we are free from our thoughts and beliefs, no matter how high or low they are, no matter what the mind thinks it needs to do to find peace in our lives. The real question is, what are we doing to relax into and discover our personal infinite sky, which is always there and waiting for us? The mind is intangible. In fact, it does not exist. Remember, the mind is an illusion. So is the ego. The surest way to control it is to seek it. Then its activities cease. Sri Ramana Maharishi. Breaking the framework of our deeply indoctrinated belief systems naturally occurs from taking this first step to real freedom. As long as we think our happiness, enlightenment, or a successful life depends on having to have only positive thinking, it creates a tension inside us that constricts our consciousness and imprisons our minds in a smaller framework than the unlimited universal intelligence we normally have to access to. So I invite you to do a personal test and see for yourself. Explore this sweet little experiment that will blow your mind. Try to only think positively about one particular thing. Okay? Try, and I believe do, think positively, only positively, about one particular thing for 1 full hour. Don't allow the pendulum to swing to the negative. If it does, start the timer over. Eventually, you'll find the mind reaches its positive creative peak and starts desperately seeking for more positivity, or will give up and get pulled into a valley of frustration. The mind is the ultimate con artist at thinking it knows the secrets to making you happy. It will form very specific ideas that you have succeeded or failed in this life, enticing your heart to believe that your innermost nature is also a total success or total failure. Another fun thing to notice here is how liberating it feels to realize that enlightenment has little to do with trying to think positive thoughts or staying free from negative thoughts. We become instantly closer to the state of enlightened freedom from entertaining this one small shift in perception. Now imagine holding this idea as your entire life's perception all day long for the next 21 days. Now, we're talking more about a truly profound shift a real deepening into the liberated awareness that you are, who is already always free from all forms of suffering. This more expansive perception of reality, liberating relationship with the mind, is the first major task to master on the enlightenment path. Is truth so particular that there is only one gate to heaven? There are no gates. Heaven is inside you. You are not even the gatekeeper, Emmanuel. You are heaven. So my message to you is not to try and think positive thoughts. And don't get me wrong, positive thoughts will naturally occur. And when they happen on their own, they are much more amazing and spectacular than prefabricated ones. The problem with trying to be positive in this life is that there is often an element of desperation and lack hidden behind it. We are afraid of our darkness, scared of what lurks in the caverns of our minds, and thus feel we need to always be thinking on the positive track to avoid falling in. The pattern of avoidance is a fear-based trip. The pattern of avoidance is a fear-based trip, and it always ends up creating more limitations within ourselves. It is much more enlightening to face that which we cannot face and be with that which we cannot be with. This is another discovery to real freedom. Our human goal is always to find total freedom and love. Yet, how can we find this if we are not allowing ourselves to play in all the creative areas within our minds? Who is the master of the mind if there are certain places we dare not adventure into? The dark is deep and humbling. The light is bright and empowering. They both have their ego-freeing benefits. When we are more devoted to the liberation that naturally occurs by tuning into our pure consciousness than the need to control and micromanage our lives, we connect with the great bliss within that is not at all concerned with positive or negative thinking. When we feel connected, we enter into a divine state of listening. And messages of guidance start appearing everywhere we travel throughout our day. Whenever you see something, a lot of us are not consciously, we're not looking for anything really. We're just going about our day. But whenever you see anything, numbers, pictures, phrases, colors, pay attention. Because if you see them 3 times in a row during the course of that day, it is definitely a message for you. No ifs, ands, buts about it. And these are messages of guidance. And they will appear everywhere. And who's doing that? How is that manifesting out there? How is that being created for you? You, the God that you are, the God within that body. When our mind is open, clear, and receptive, we can hear the guidance from our soul more clearly, and we don't need to try to think positively or avoid thinking negatively. The soul is always speaking to us sweetly, showing us the way. The only reason we are not hearing the life-affirming, guiding messages from our soul all day long is because of one little thing. The ego, mind, personality, agenda is blocking the way. We've become over-identified with these bodies. Mind, the I or me that is associated with it. The universe has been trying for lifetimes to bring us out of our ego trip and its succulent agenda and serious attempt to control the mind, reality, and our future. The universe was simply waiting for this very appropriate time now when we became tired of playing games and were ready for a real experience of our true infinite nature. When ego is lost, limit is lost. You become infinite, kind, and beautiful. Yogi Bhajan. The ego, it acts a lot like an old coat hanger. You know, you remember seeing the cars that, you know, those when we had the radio antennas, right? And, you know, the antenna was broken or something. Someone had fashioned an old coat hanger and formed it into an antenna, okay? So the ego acts a lot like an old coat hanger antenna hooked to our cable TV or our car. The signal it receives is old-fashioned, outdated, and interferes with the crisp, clear channel direct from the cable line underneath. Whenever we adjust the coat wire, the sound and picture quality can become fuzzy, confusing, or suddenly exceptionally clear. Then we create this pattern of readjusting our wire hanger, thinking it is the answer to a clear life, and never imagine for a moment that we can use the digital HD cable that has already been plugged in for years. It's truly, deeply eternal loving when it happens to us that we simply stop wiggling our antenna and tune into our hard line of divine intelligence. The very second we drop the adjustment habit, trying to control the mind, its quality of thoughts, we start listening on a deeper level to the great wisdom that is here beneath it all. The very moment we pull the plug on our thinking machine, the infinite soul that we naturally are becomes obvious, real, and apparent everywhere we go. We become present to the heart beating within us, the breath that brings us deeper sensations of peace, and realize that this universe and its infinite playground exists everywhere. As this hard line connection gets stronger, the inner quietness becomes more potent, and we can gradually actually hear this personal angelic guidance as if it was radioed down from an intercom. The truth is our inner guidance is always blasting us with the most enlightening information we're most needing to know. It's just, are we listening? By practicing unplugging the thinking antenna and turning up the volume on the listening dial, we slowly begin hearing it, and our lives attune to a more enlightened way of being. When the mind becomes perfectly silent, everything inside instantly becomes crystal clear. We realize that all of our confusion, problems, and personal inadequacies were all being generated by this cheap old antenna. We constantly see and hear a full line of universal truths because we are free from our judgment filters. Every person we encounter becomes a spirit guide with a deep, important message about our life path, insight that directly speaks personally to us. It's not that every single audible word coming out of everybody's mouth is a huge personal message from the divine meant just for you. Yet the more often we practice listening, the easier it is to feel what life choices to make and clearly know where our soul is most wanting to go. In the stillness lies the greatest power. When consciousness becomes perfectly still, the illusion is perfectly understood because it is consciousness that is creating the illusion. Awaken the world film. It is consciousness that is creating the illusion. What are the gods in these bodies? What are we? Pure consciousness. We create the illusion. Practice this one simple technique as much as you can, listening to what is listening. Listen to what is listening. Place your attention upon what is paying attention. Then, when you're in conversation with another person, use this extra highly perceptive awareness to go beyond the surface meaning of their words. Dive in between their word, beneath their egoic message, and tune into what their soul is trying to share with your soul. If God had a message for you today through this person, what would you most need to hear? If God had a message for you today, right in this now, through this person, what would you most need to hear? This level of soul listening means you're willing to hear a continuously positive message from this universe. This universe source, in its perfection, only delivers messages of love, healing, freedom, and how to reach enlightenment. The messages we receive may send us sailing through the high and holy front door or down through the dark back basement door. Either passageway given, the universe is always conspiring in our favor in an eager attempt to fulfill the most deep and personal needs we have, yet may not know. You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. What if our main job in this life was to become so ridiculously happy that we contagiously made everyone else feel good by just hanging around them? What if our main job in this life was to become so ridiculously happy that we contagiously made everyone else feel good by just hanging around us. Now, if this was our purpose in life, how would we start our day? What would we begin thinking about the moment we were awake? What would be the most important thing we started doing that made us feel lighter, freer, and alive with life? When we choose an approach to this life that is brimming with reverence for ourselves and gratitude for this life, we will notice some wonderful side benefits arise. We magically start manifesting all sorts of abundant opportunities, experiences, and people. We become a powerful manifesting magnet because everyone wants to know the secret practices that we're doing before breakfast when we're in perpetual appreciation. We will see almost everyone go out of their way just to be in our bubbly presence. By choosing to be authentically grateful for anything in our lives, we will become absorbed by the deeper permanent river of perpetual happiness. This enlightened state is not about covering up, repressing, avoiding, or fixing any contracted emotions like sadness, frustration, guilt, desperation, and fear. They will always be there for us, waiting on that lower bandwidth when our life needs a deeper dimension of compassion and emotional depth. When they arrive, it's essential that we learn to appreciate them as well as welcome them in. Everlasting real happiness is a process of integrating the darkness of our mind with the lightness of our spiritual essence. Everlasting real happiness is a process of integrating the darkness of our mind with the lightness of our spiritual essence. From this whole space, we can feel happiness is our natural state because we are so relaxed about everything. Whatever arises, we are constantly welcoming the experience, allowing the negativity to merge with the positivity, and discovering real inner peace inside. It is a choice that we can make, no matter what our current circumstances are like. In each moment of our day, no matter what is occurring in our outer world, we can welcome the darkness into the lightness and look for the real deep eternal love that is hidden in deep disguise. In every moment, we always have the option to appreciate something about ourselves, the world, or someone else. We can train our brains to see if the glass is half empty or half full, or both. Whatever we have or don't have in this life does not have to determine our current state of happiness. We can simply choose to relax, stop demanding that life be something other than what it really is, and be at peace with what is for no reason at all. Just because we are still alive and have the opportunity to love, this is enough. Be a dynamo of irrepressible joy. Be happy, Babaji. Happiness comes from opening ourselves to life and choosing to take the risk to grow and expand instead of contracting, remaining small. It involves getting in touch with the energy inside our bodies that is flowing. The heart is still beating, the blood is still pumping, the breath still inhaling and exhaling. Take a moment to experience this right now. And the longer you can enjoy it, the more you'll create a highly conscious and alive state. Just by breathing, you can feel so alive and realize you are living inside a very amazing manifesting vehicle that has the natural born power to attract and manifest anything you desire. Just by breathing, you can feel so alive and realize you are living inside a very amazing manifesting vehicle that has the natural born power to attract and manifest anything you desire. Now, this is something to get really happy about. It is proven over and over again that our thoughts create our reality. Our thoughts create our reality. Now, if and when we can choose to think only about what we want and never think about what we don't want, we will manifest everything our heart ever dreamed of since childhood. As soon as you create doubt, could be a little teeny doubt, not a big one, just that little feeling that comes in, you know. The universe takes it away. Magnetizing our dream life all boils down to where we are placing our attention in each moment. Now look at all the things going on. You know, it really is like a 30-ring circus, isn't it? And where is our attention in each moment? Most of us don't focus on that, do we? It's like, where am I placing my attention in each moment? It's what you ask yourself. Where am I placing my attention in each moment? What am I focusing on? And then you notice the first thought you start to think about in the morning, the very moment you realize you are awake. It is the choice maker, alive inside all of us, to choose any thought we wish. I highly suggest that you practice noticing what you are focusing on. For these 3 minutes, you are awake every morning this week. I highly suggest it. Practice noticing what you're focusing on for the first 3 minutes you are awake every morning this week. Just see for yourself where the mind tends to go, and see if you can bring the mind to appreciate yourself just as you are. Notice the deep love inside you, the wonderful being who is worthy of receiving an abundance of love, cuddles, and gratitude from the community around you. Act happy, feel happy, be happy without a reason in the world. Then you can love and do what you will. Dan Miller. Now, if you're having trouble finding even a glimmer of joy inside of you, then regress back in time to the greatest experiences of happiness you can remember having in your life. Replay those past moments in your imagination and feel what that time in your life was like as if it was happening right now. This is the greatest happiness discovery. Perhaps when you were a child, you were simply running outside in the warm summer grass or playing in the sandbox with the sun shining on your back. Imagine you're feeling the healing warmth of that sun and feel the soul, soft sand between your toes. Whatever happy memories you can find, let yourself bathe in these joyful times that are forever a part of you. Every child has at least one happy memory. So be thankful for each of these smiling memories and the good feelings to replay and enjoy. The more we can summon and feel into these happy memories, the more they'll ignite that blazing fire of joy, hibernating inside you. Practice daily, and soon you will find your most authentic, liberating expression pouring out into everyone, everywhere you go. Feeling happy simply creates more happiness. Once you're continuously vibrating at this level, the universe will reward you with even more satisfying experiences and people that build into even happier feelings and experiences. You can't do that down and out. You can't do that complaining about all the bad things and the disappointments and the people that have let you down. It will just create more of the same. Dance when you're broken apart. Dance if you've torn the bandage off. Dance in the middle of the fighting. Dance in your blood. Dance when you're perfectly free, Rumi. For us to find our life mission, start with recognizing that you are a spiritual being living in a material world. That's the truth. We are all supreme spiritual beings, supreme immortal spiritual beings, all living in a material world. Our job is to realize this truth every day and all day long. Notice how you are the observer of your thoughts. So you cannot be your thoughts. You are the consciousness that is beyond this physical dimension of this life. You, all of us, are the consciousness that is beyond this physical dimension of this life. Finding the source of our consciousness, find it, and you will be free from all levels of unhappiness forever. Find the source of your consciousness, and you will be free from all levels of unhappiness forever. Unhappy experiences manifest because the ego is running the show. It is constantly demanding to be satisfied and avoiding being unsatisfied. What a way to go. This game is all about the ego's needs in each moment, where it's secretly attempting to be in control and not trusting in the soul and spiritual being that you are. You don't have to participate in this dramatic game anymore, as the ego will never, ever, ever, ever be satisfied enough. Why do you think that, and there's a plethora of things, Why do you think people, you look at somebody and you say, wow, you know, they've got billions of dollars, right? Millions, billions, trillions, whatever. Yet they feel the need to have more. It's a driving force to have more, collect more, get more. Right? And this is what a lot of people participate in, this dramatic game, because the ego will never be satisfied. It's futile. The only thing that truly satisfies is knowing the spiritual truth of who you truly are. You are a spiritual being, not a physical being. You are an infinite soul who is much bigger than any thought. You are going to exist even after this body and mind are long dead and gone. Who you are is vast, limitless consciousness itself. By simply choosing to see that you are the witness behind all thoughts, it's a choice, right? By simply choosing to see that you are the witness behind all thoughts, you discover that you are already free from them. And you never demand that life or your mind has to be a certain way in order for you to be happy. You don't have to improve yourself, become a better person, or figure out any problems in your life to be happier. You can simply stop the mind and realize the truth of who and what you already are. This is enough. Once you remain aware that you are the very source of awareness itself, and that your soul will never die, you begin living the most amazing life you could possibly live. It's like a car, right? As an analogy. The car is the body, okay? So you look at the car as your body. And you are pure consciousness. The God, the soul, the higher self, the spirit, all of it. And you're driving the body. That's what you are. So you're out for a Sunday drive, sunny day. Nice, cool breeze. And once that you remain aware that you, in that car, are the very source of awareness itself, and that you begin to realize, it just comes in, my soul will never die. That's when we all start living the most amazing lives we could possibly live. And as we practice each day, stepping into a greater spiritual experience of realizing the infinite soul we truly are, we stop playing the fear-based game of life and death. We stop playing it. Because it is a fear-based game, isn't it? We worry about living and we worry about dying. And it's fear-based. And then we realize that we have an infinite number of lifetimes to get it right and discover the joy of being alive. Once we understand that this is why we are here on Earth, right? We let go of the old unsatisfying game and discover a much more advanced game, the exploration of how true everlasting happiness follows us wherever we go. We are the happiness. We are true everlasting happiness, true everlasting love, pure consciousness, God, beyond consciousness. Imagine taking this perspective, deciding to, that life is a mystery to be lived, not a problem to be solved. Life is a mystery to be lived, not a problem to be solved. Okay. Would you like to know the greatest discovery to remaining in a perpetual state of happiness? I'm sure we all would, wouldn't we? This is a big one. So ground yourself here. The discovery is learning how to trust yourself and this universe so deeply that you can relax fully and remain completely present in this now moment, no matter what activity you are engaged in. Simply surrender to it. Perhaps you're doing dishes, right? Because we still, some people still do dishes. We don't always use dishwashers. So perhaps you're doing dishes. Then you'd feel the warm water running over your hands and enjoy the experience of cleaning the plates. Now, the more present you can be in whatever action you're doing, the more you'll be absorbed by the now moment, which is where all the gold is found. If and when you can remain only in the now, you will discover all the greatest secrets man is searching for around the world. Living each day in the present moment, we find out how easy it is to manifest anything we want in our lives. Things simply come to us easily, effortlessly, and even instantly in this physical world. Manifesting is much easier than we have imagined, only if we stay out of our own way. Especially when we are in the now and feeling full of radiant joy. We realize that happiness is our natural state of being, and it isn't always available in each new moment. It is always available in each new moment. You, the God that you are in that body, are the happiness. You are the joy. You are the abundance. You are the love. Being taught separation has been a real challenge in this journey for us, because we're not separate. That's all there is to it. Right? And I know our eyes play tricks on us because we look at things, right? And automatically the mind goes, that's separate. Right? Most people, riding in that vehicle down that road are separate from you. The vehicle is separate from you. That's the illusion. That's the illusion the mind plays on us all the time. You're yelling at that person. You're yelling at yourself. hitting that person, you're hitting yourself. And that sounds strange to a lot of people. Doesn't make any sense to them. It's like, how can I be hitting this person? I'm hitting myself. You can obviously see I'm hitting this person. I'm not hitting me. Well, you have impact, don't you? So when you hit that person, it's hitting you, right? And that's the physical. But the God within, you're attacking the God that you're part of within that body. We do this, and none of us are exempt from it. We do it. It's not a negative thing. It's just that we don't realize that our ego mind is in charge. And we have people who say, well, I thought the heart mind was stronger than the ego mind. It is. But when you don't know that, the ego mind will dictate to your heart mind. It's real tricky. It's a real slick character. And, we all get sucked into the grandiose stage play of the ego. So we don't understand why things are happening, and we wonder why that's happening, instead of taking a step out of it and concentrating on how grateful we are for the very moment, how happy we are to be alive. All this other stuff is entertainment for the ego. And you witness the pendulum, right? You see a clock, right? You see those old clocks, or you see the pendulum going back and forth, tick, tick, and tick, tock. And just imagine this big pendulum, and it swings to the left, and it hangs there, right? And then it swings to the right. So there's times in our lives where the pendulum swings, and we have some real interesting adventures, right? Many people don't look at them as adventures. They look at them as issues, problems, things that they wouldn't care to have in their lives. And then you have a choice to say, I'm really grateful for these things because they're teaching me a lot. I'm very grateful for them. And then you look at your life and you go, I'm very grateful for my life. The reason I'm grateful is because I'm alive. I'm experiencing this life. I am the God in this body, experiencing this life. I'm elated with that. I cherish every single now moment that I can experience. Not tomorrow, not yesterday. Every single now moment experience I celebrate. There's something that Helen Keller said. I thank God for my handicaps, for through them I have found myself, my work, and my God. In reality, her God was the God within her body. She began to realize that she wasn't the body, that all of the challenges that we experience, whether it be a Helen Keller, anybody, Bill Simpson, Ethel Thomas, whoever, whatever your name is, because you're not your name anyway. And you begin to realize that I'm experiencing all of the things in this body, and I'm deeply grateful for it. Because I'm not the body, I'm the God experiencing the body. Not the body experiencing the God. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy, slow breath in through the nose, and an easy, slow breath in, breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Whenever you may find yourself in a slow, tired, or low state of energy, imagine a bright golden light is coming from every vertebrae in your spine. It is sending light out in every direction. It blasts straight up into the sky, into the earth below you, and in all four directions totally surrounding you. Visualize the golden light as the source of love. Let yourself feel, believe, and know that you are the source of love. Take this with you for the rest of the day and the evening, night, and following morning. And we will return here Friday, September 16th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call.